Angry guy here, and lonely single women are crying on social media as Asian women mock them. Lonely single women are crying on social media as Asian women mock them. It's quite epic, guys. I'm really enjoying myself watching this, this take place right now. These women, they chose this for themselves. They chose feminism, and now they're going to have to live with that. I'm going to look at a comment. Well, first, I'm going to share this picture with you. I'm 38 and single, and I recently realized I want a child. I'm terrified. I've missed my opportunity. Let's go ahead and jump into this. I can still picture it. I was 20, sitting on the kitchen countertop with my legs dangling over the cabinets. He was 21, leaning against the stove of the home. He hoped we'd share. We've been dating for nearly 2 years, and we're at a standstill. I was clinging to my dream of moving 5 hours away to attend a design program at the Art Institute of Seattle. He wanted a simple life. Check this out, y'all. He wanted a simple life with children and home cooked meals and a little resort town of Core, Deline, Idaho, where we met in sixth grade. So he wanted a nice, simple, happy family life. That day in the kitchen, we decided to stay together, and we each gave up something to do that. I would no longer pursue design school and the big city life I'd always dreamed of, and he'd forego having children and a wife who prioritized homemaking. Very sad. I made it clear to him that I did not see motherhood in my future and that he needed to be okay with that. 2 years later, we were married. My husband thought I changed, and I thought I could change him. I told myself that it was silly to go after my dreams, and that I should be content in the pretty mountain town where I grew up. But I grew resentful when he asked where dinner was or complained that his gym clothes hadn't been washed. I did little to hide my disdain for our small town life. He was a good and hardworking man, but I don't think I made him feel that way. We were young, foolish, and sweet, thinking our love would allow us to overcome our differences. We were also very wrong. Shortly after I turned 30, we divorced. We were both tired of sacrificing the things that were important to us for each other. I told my friends and family I'd never get married again. I needed independence, a fulfilling career, and space to chart my own course. And I didn't think marriage fit into that vision. I was content to look toward a future without a husband, children, or the trappings of a traditional life. I was in no hurry to get into a serious relationship after my divorce. I was terrified of repeating my mistakes. Nevertheless, months later, I stumbled into one that lasted 7.5 years. He was significantly older and wasn't interested in marriage or children, and we were focused on our careers. We expected little of each other aside from fidelity. We took trips, drank nice wine, and stayed out late. Basically, she was out in the streets. Without the expectations of duties of a shared mortgage or a family, we simply enjoyed our time together. When we were apart, we did our own thing. Those were great, easy years. Guys, women want easy, soft lives. It was an incredibly healing relationship, and ironically, I started to become the woman my ex-husband had wanted. I enjoyed cooking, cleaning, and caring for someone when it was my choice and when it wasn't asked of me. I'd been so preoccupied with preserving my independence and caring for myself that I hadn't realized how much I enjoyed caring for someone else and allowing them to care for me. I started to think I might want more than an easy, aimless relationship. I realized I might actually want to build a life from the ground up with someone who wanted the same thing. And while I knew that might take more work, it also felt like the type of connection worth pursuing. This is just madness. I felt restless, and I couldn't ignore that what I wanted had changed. Though we were technically together, we were living our own lives. That was exactly what I wanted and needed after my divorce, but autonomy was no longer my top priority. it felt like the relationship had run its course. He's a wonderful man, and we're still close, but we'd entered our relationship without intention or a shared vision of our future. We broke up shortly before my 37th birthday. Over the following year and a half, I dated around for the first time in my life. I broke hearts. Listen to what she said. I broke hearts, had my own heart broken, and did in my late 30s what many do in their 20s. Basically, so she racked up a really high body count. I didn't know it then, but I was learning what I wanted and needed in a relationship. Ultimately, I want to build a life with another person, not simply join theirs when it's convenient. I began to feel an incredible urgency to find the relationship and stability to see me through the second half of my life. To my amazement, I began seriously thinking about marriage and children. I hardly recognized myself. Oh my. I also began to feel selfish for spending so much time focusing solely on myself. These are the same women that tell young women to focus on yourself, be independent, live. It's about the streets. And now she's pushing 40 and crying on social media. I went from proudly proclaiming I was too self-centered to be bothered with a family to realizing there was more to life than independence and pleasures of living for oneself. My very existence started to feel shallow and hollow. Now, months after that realization, at nearly 39, love it, I feel panicked thinking I'll be a single, childless, middle aged woman. I worry that my youthful looks will fade and that I won't be able to attract the man I want to spend the rest of my life with. Oh my gosh. So guys, this is madness. Madness at 39. She's already passed. Anything above the age of 35 is a geriatric pregnancy. If I sound desperate, it's because I honestly do feel a little bit desperate. So she is acknowledging that she is desperate. And if there's one thing that'll chase a good man off faster than anything else, it's desperation. At my age, I know that creating life may not be an option for me, and I worry that men who want a family aren't looking for a woman pushing 40. I get it. I'm no longer the ideal candidate for motherhood, and it's scary. It's a scary truth. But I still hope to find someone who thinks I'm the ideal partner and create our family together. She's looking for a simp. And of course, she has very high standards because she's not going to just accept just any guy. He has to make six figures, be at least 6 feet tall, and offer at least 6 inches. And those are the bare minimums. And of course, that's not the guy that she will love. That's her plan B guy. You guys have got to be kidding me. I understand the appeal of life without the constraints of marriage or children. For many years, I was quite satisfied living that way. I know people can live happy, purpose-driven lives without those things. I just don't believe I'm one of those people anymore. I know now that my purpose lies in having a husband and a family. I'm meant to care for more than myself. I'm looking for my love, for my forever person, and hoping he's looking for me too. Guys, this is madness. This is madness. This is the kind of woman who ends up on The Bachelorette, right? And she has a bunch of simps, and like, okay, you're gonna be my forever guy. And you know what's crazy about these guys on The Bachelor? All of them are just looking to get their career and get their money because they're all on there trying to become influencers. Like some of them have been kicked out of the house for literally doing this. Like they were just on the show to become influencers or just to get their music career going. A lot of these people, like, they file for PPP loans, for being while they were on The Bachelor, and there's a whole lot of these people being charged now for that. Guys, this is some crazy stuff. This is sad, 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 sad. All right. She had a great man who was hardworking, who wanted to have a family, but she did not like having to cook for him or clean for him. She didn't like doing his laundry, but he was a great guy who cared for her. She had a great marriage to him, but she wanted to focus on her career, so she threw her marriage away. He probably went and found someone nice and is living a better life. It's too bad he wasted those years because he was wasting them on a person who thought that she might change. She never did, which is something, guys. Never think, walk away. And now, 20 years later, roughly, she's decided that she wants to be a mom and have a family and cook and take care of a person, although she still wants to do that on her own terms. So she wants to cook when she feels like cooking, and clean when she feels like cleaning, and take care of her family when she feels like taking care of her family. Guys, that's not how it works. If you have children, if you have a household, you don't cook for your kids when you feel like cooking for your kids. You have to do it every single day. It's a daily job. It's a regular routine. It's something that you have. And you know what's sad? These are also the types of people that try to go in and get in veto and try to do it all on their own, and then take out like massive amounts of money, on credit. They take out massive loans on credit so that they can pay for their treatments, and in the end they still don't end up having a kid. Or if they do, they just become a single mother and then end up having to go on welfare or government assistance later on to subsidize it, because these women can't work anymore. Something she really didn't mention is the fact that a lot of women are getting burnt out. They're tired and they don't want to, there's a huge shift where they don't want to work anymore. I mean, I talked about this in another video. Women aren't turning to lazy girl jobs because they're work shy. They're significantly more burned out than men. Women pursuing lazy girl jobs, one with minimal stress, decent pay, or anything but lazy. But rather than shirking hard work, new research has found that they are actually just trying to escape burnout. Okay, while in fact, while men have become less burned out as bosses force workers to return to pre-2020 norms, women are still feeling drained. Gallup surveyed over 18,000 workers and found that 33% of women are almost always burnt out right now. Just a quarter of men feel the same way. And what's more, the burnout gap between men and women has widened from 3 percentage points in 2019 to 13 percentage points in 2023. And it's why, according to the research, women are increasingly looking for work-life balance from their next role. In other words, a lazy girl job. And while the anti-work movement is nothing new, with both men and women quietly quitting during 2020 and after 2020, Gallup's findings explain the recent surge in female-focused terms for rejecting hustle culture. Around 70% of women cite greater work-life balance and personal well-being as the reason why they're changing jobs, compared with 58% of men. And what's more, work-life balance is the top reason women would take another job, and it's more important than a big salary boost or job security, according to the study. Whereas significantly increasing their income was more important for the men surveyed. And then also, we should be talking about the fact that so many of these women are now losing their jobs to AI. The AI boom is the newest threat to women's presence in the workforce, and women are working at near record levels, and their spending is helping to prop up the U.S. economy, but their economic power could be threatened by the future of artificial intelligence. An August study by the International Labor Organization found that in high-income countries, 7.8% of jobs held by women have the potential to be automated, compared to just 2.9% of men's jobs. A Pew Research analysis from July estimated that 21% of U.S. women were employed in jobs that are the most exposed to AI, meaning there's a higher likelihood that women's work tasks could be replaced or aided by AI. 17% of men were employed in highly exposed have found a similar gender disparity. I mean, guys, it's crazy. It's crazy. And women put themselves in this position, and you've got Asian women like, Mayumi. I've talked about her in a couple of videos. She's a 33-year-old Japanese physician who's married to a military veteran. Her husband is African American. He's part black, part Asian. Oh, actually, he's okay. So he's of like Ugandan descent. So, but they live in the United States. This is very interesting stuff, and she's been talking about these women and calling them leftover milk ladies, and this is one of her comments. She says, "I've gone into this mode because I see the Western women demanding unacceptable things from men, and I'm happy to see relationships like mine pop up. My in-laws have the happiness, and because of my husband's father going into the military voluntarily and fighting love during a conflict, I get my husband. My husband's father wasn't a passport bro. nor was my husband. They chose a life of service. So, these women, they're in relationships with these men. They're foreign women. They're in relationships with these men. They were grateful to have these men. They're living their best lives. I saw another comment from her. I saw another comment from her where she basically said that, now she and her husband, they're actually thinking about starting up a YouTube channel to talk about, I believe, anime and manga. And she's a pediatrician, and they like dressing up in cosplay and stuff like that. And I mean, they're living their best life. And then you have all these single women who have basically nothing. I saw another comment from her where she said that her husband brought her a ghost burger from Burger King. I think it's a ghost pepper burger, and she said it was delicious. And you guys, could you imagine? Like, giving something like that to an American woman, like a Western woman, like, hey, here's a burger from Burger King. She would look at you like, how dare you? You give me this to eat? Excuse me? Like, this is the culture in Western society. This is how Western women behave. This is what Western women think. This is how they perceive reality. This is the level of entitlement. This is as their status is deteriorating in Western society. This is their thoughts, and they're not going to change. It's only going to get worse.
For years that you don't want. Let me get this straight. You have been telling men for years that you don't want them, you don't need them, they don't meet your standards, that they don't treat you right. You can pay for your own hair, you can pay for your own nails, you can afford your own home, you can afford your own car, and are good for nothing. You're strong, you're independent. Then you get mad when these men go to another country to actually find a woman that has the qualities that they are looking for in a wife. Make it make sense. I also want to talk about why this mindset that so many Western women have is actually extremely problematic. Because not only are you putting down the men who are going overseas with pure intentions, you're also putting down the women from these other countries solely off of the fact that they were not brought up in a Western culture. Because you're calling them uneducated, you're calling them poor, you're calling them weak, you're calling them vulnerable. You're creating a superiority complex where you are at the top and women from all these other countries are at the bottom. Now let me tell you something. If you were really superior, the men would not be leaving. And you would not be single.
Damn! Wow.
Sensational.
Guys, they're finishing them off. Like, these women, they messed with the wrong ones. I don't know what they were thinking.
Rescued from their poverty-stricken life of no opportunity.
The truth is, these American men are trying to be rescued from you, Karen.
Wow. Guys, their replacements have arrived. And they're furious about this. The biggest threat to American women, Asian women getting wifed up by password brothers. I mean, look at this. Look at this, guys. Like, and let me tell y'all something right now. These Asian women, they're not just coming for the men. They're coming for the culture. Like, a lot of these women that are going for the black guys, a lot of these Asian girls are going for the black men. They're not just going for black men. They're going for black culture. They want to take it all. They want to take everything. All right. You've got some of these Filipinas saying that they're the original black people too. All right. They're coming for the culture. Black women are going to lose everything. They're not just going to lose their men. They're going to lose their culture too. Guys, mock them. I want to hear your thoughts on this, guys. You already know what I think, but I want to know what you think. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away, and cheers.